Good afternoon, everybody. So the line between physical and digital retail is not just blurring, it is disappearing. Today's customers is expecting a frictionless experience, no matter how they choose to shop, whether they are browsing their social media feed, or they are walking down an aisle in a store, or they are online ordering ingredients for tonight's dinner. They are looking for convenience at every step of the way. Now, this convenience cannot be just delivered by fulfillment. It has to be orchestrated. An orchestration that is powered by real-time data, artificial intelligence, ecosystems and platform that not only move fast, but move together. So thank you for joining us, Ghazal. Let's dive in. So in an era where pickup and delivery expectations are measured in minutes and hours and not days, as you look at the future of the industry and your business, how do you envision synchronizing store operations, inventory visibility, and last-mile logistics?
First of all, thank you so much for having me. It's wonderful to see the full house. Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here talking to all of you guys. I think the topic of today is very, very interesting. It's something that all of us building businesses are thinking about. Data, technology have been buzzwords for a very, very long time. We've seen how data helps us personalize things. Technology helps us do repetitive tasks far better. Now AI is coming in, which is helping us set context and understand probably our consumers, our systems, our data even better. It's kind of bringing an intuition into the entire system, which wasn't already there. I don't come from a supply chain background, so I'm going to keep the buzzwords separate. And how do I see all of these three things coming together seamlessly to deliver a consumer experience which is exceptional, which is not just convenient, but also human, is how I would want to address these questions. So of course, data, technology, AI. For me, I think the synchronization starts with a central nervous system, which is bringing all of this data together. All of the technology is helping us get visibility to that data, and we have one true source of truth. That's the only way. And gone are the times when consumers used to buy in channels. We used to segregate them as online buyers and offline buyers, and the inventory online would be different, and the inventory offline would be different. But I feel today, the consumer interacts with a brand, and how can you deliver a 360-degree experience using this central nervous system, which has one true source of the entire data, is what helps us do better and give that seamless experience to the consumers. For example, and I give examples so that I can make my point better. But let's say a consumer today comes on the Mamaearth website and places an order, right? This central nervous system will help us understand where is the consumer placing the order from, what is the nearest fulfillment center. Now, initially, we used to have warehouses as our only fulfillment center. I think today, the change that is coming in is the retail stores that we have also double down as mini fulfillment centers, right? So if we feel that through that mini fulfillment center, we will be able to deliver faster to our consumer, which ultimately drives convenience for them, is something that we want to optimize for. We are not already there in our business. We are trying to build this system. It's a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of time, a lot of investment as well. But I think the brands who are able to deliver this seamless experience to the consumers are the only brands that will stand out in future.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And then, as we break down the silos between stores and fulfillment centers, it becomes imperative that we look at the entire connected system end to end. And then where AI is creating an inflection point is that it allows us to do this hyper-personalization, which then kind of gives consumer a feeling that this retailer really knows me, innately knows me, and which then builds loyalty in my mind, because now customer feels coming to us because this retailer really knows what I want, when I want, how I want, right? Irrespective of the channels. So that was great insight.
In our category, which is beauty and personal care, actually AI is helping us understand the context around consumers far better. Now, if my consumer is browsing through my website, leaving certain footprints behind. The system helps us understand those footprints, understand what is the skin type she has, what is the hair type she has, what has been her purchase history. And when the same consumer visits us in our retail channels, the store manager actually is able to get access to that entire information and give her a personalized recommendation. Oh, I know you have oily skin type. Probably this sunscreen is better for you than a matte sunscreen. Or recommendations like that, right? And that differentiation is what makes consumers feel they've come home, rather than going to external and just, it's not about just selling products anymore. I think that used to be, history, when the only thing that brands were chasing was how to sell more and make more money. The differentiation is going to be, how do you understand your consumers so well that they feel they are interacting with a friend and not a brand, which is going to help us set us apart.
Well said, well said. So let's pivot. From real-time inventory flow to digital shelf tools, automation and data are helping to deliver more intuitive and personalized experience through every point of shopping journey like we talked. So how are you thinking about using AI to strike a right balance between speed, accuracy, and context?
See, I think the use of AI can be multifaceted. It's about how and what do we want AI to help us with. AI can help us make more sense of the data in a more intuitive manner that can be used. AI can help us deliver far better experience to our consumers, which is a game changer. And I think other than that, like you're saying, data, technology, and AI, like when these things come together, it's not like we don't have access to all of this data today. We have data, we have technology, it helps us do repetitive tasks better, but with the AI now coming in picture, how do you make more sense and not just be predictive, but also be intuitive? So earlier we were using it to be more predictive, that okay, what should the inventory forecast look like? What should the last mile delivery fulfillment look like? But now we are also able to be more intuitive as to what do we see in future. For example, in our business, which is beauty and personal care, it's a very seasonal business, right? Today, if I'm sitting in August and I want to have an understanding of, let's say, what are the consumer trends and how is it going to change in the next 3 months, not just like 6 months, but real time. AI helps us understand that. They will tell us, okay, winters are approaching, probably the forecast of these SKUs need to go up, probably the fulfillment centers, because the season hits harder in these physical stores, this is where you need to focus more on, etc. And that entire experience was happening earlier, was more humanized, so we were prone to making more errors. Now this system helps us relieve some of that human bandwidth to do other tasks, while this repetitive task can be taken up by the technology system.
Yeah, and you put it really well. Like if you look at in the good old days, like even how people were searching, it was based on keywords. So then we had to predict what is the customer actually looking for, connecting so many different data points. What AI has done and the inflection it has brought is that customers are now giving us the context. AI is able to give us the context, the situation they are in. Then that helps us serve them in much better experiences. So for example, like if a parent has his kid going to school and they need something because tomorrow they have to set up the dorm room for the kid and they want express delivery, now I can nudge them saying, hey, we have express offering, would you want that? That would be so thoughtful in customers' eye, because now they are getting this real-time experience where the retailer is fully understanding the situation that the customer is in and then providing help along the way, right? So now they see you as a partner, right? As opposed to just a retailer who is there to just sell the goods, right? So that's why I feel like AI has created this unique thing which allows us to cater an experience which then drives loyalty, because then the customer feels like, yep, this is the brand that really knows me, and I want to shop here.
I'll give a small example, something very similar that happened a couple of months back. So all of our store managers have those mobile devices, which helps them understand who's walking in, and you just take the name of the consumer and you're able to understand the history and the context around that consumer. Now, very recently, and this is a new system that we have built in, the mobile device told the store manager that latest browsing history of Shikha was around hair fall. She was exploring products around hair fall, but she hadn't made the purchase. Now, for whatever the store manager was able to interpret that, okay, she's interested in hair fall, she might be going through that concern, but she hasn't made a purchase with us. And now that she has come to the physical store, let me not ask what is this concern that you're facing, let me just offer her the product which might help.
She wants, exactly.
And Shikha as a girl left such a beautiful feedback online because she felt that no other brand understands her the way Mamaearth does. So I think this is going to be the future of at least the consumer companies for sure.
Yep. So let's pivot into something different. So as stores become both service centers and fulfillment centers, how are the roles evolving for the frontline people? Particularly, like, what are your thoughts on designing technology and experiences that empower people and not just processes?
Yeah. See, I feel with all of this intervention, a lot of repetitive tasks which did not have as much human connection will get taken away from our store managers. I believe our store managers will end up being our brand ambassadors. The main task at hand for them would be to bring out what does the brand stand for, what are the values, how do you create a human connection that the consumer doesn't forget. It's going to be all about that. For example, if Mamaearth stands for trust, transparency, and toxin-free as a proposition, how does the store manager bring all of this through the conversations that he's having to life? We plant trees on consumers' behalf with every order that we place. Can the consumer come to a store and plant a tree herself? That's an experience. I think the store manager will evolve into brand ambassadors, focusing far more on this because they don't have to worry about, oh, is my inventory right? Oh, am I fulfilling orders right? Because that part will be taken care of by technology, data, and AI. So I think that is how the roles will evolve. And I still believe that humans are not going to go anywhere from this supply chain because we need them. We've always had data in the past. We've always had technology evolve, become better. But it's the human intervention which teaches us how to use them in a way which adds a lot of meaning to the business that we are doing, and that's not going to go anywhere. So we will still need our people to be around us, probably just doing different tasks, focusing more on values, on empathy, on human connection than just on processes and systems.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. I believe that technology is there to serve the people, not the other way around. So people will always be at the front and center of everything that we do. And then especially with AI coming in, it will free up a lot of time because, as you said, all of the repetitive tasks would be then taken care by AI as an assistant, which then empowers humans and people to then see how they make the best use of that time. And especially for the frontline people, it becomes that they want to then use that time to serve the customers better, right?
Yes.
Where they can then vouch for the brand, create that brand value with the customers,
100%.
create those magical moments and experiences that customers will always remember, right? And then that again drives them to come to stores again and again. So the last question I would say is that offering great convenience will be the baseline expectations of customers. What are your thoughts on designing retail experiences that feel effortless and unforgettable?
I think how do you create unforgettable experiences is only by becoming more human, by being more emotional. Humans thrive on emotions, right? It could be any kind of emotion. It could be happiness, it could be sadness, it could be anger. But till the time you're making them feel something, you're establishing some form of connection. And I feel even going forward, the brands which have a soul are the brands which are going to be relevant and stay for a longer duration. It's not just going to be about convenience, about data, about technology. Like you said, they are going to become table stakes, right? Everybody is going to have access to those things at one point in time or the other. So the only differentiator would be brands that speak a language of humans, brands that have certain values that they stand for, brands that have point of views. And how do you make that interaction between your business, between your brand, and between your consumers seamless is what is going to help us differentiate. I mean, I've had this point of view for a long time. I started Mamaearth with this point of view that there needs to be brand which listens to the consumers, which takes feedback, which takes action on what they are liking, what they are not liking. consumers should be in a position to have conversation with the brand.
Yeah.
This was back in 2016. I still hold all of that true today. Like, despite data technology, et cetera, if brands are able to do this, if you're able to establish connection with your audience, you're in a good space, you're safe, you will continue to grow because they feel something for you. The day they stop feeling for your brand, and it just ends up being a transaction, is where we lose the plot. So I think this is one thing where I am losing my sleep over. I don't just have one brand now, we have 6 brands. And being able to do that consistently across 6 brands, having different point of views, having different personalities, is where my team is putting most of their efforts on.
No, very well said. I think human connection is the soul of any company, so very well said. Thank you so much. So I think as we look at the convergence of physical and digital is here, it's about retailers who are going to build that convenience with that human connection, keeping people at the center and creating those magical moments for customers, and deliver with speed, accuracy, and experience that lasts forever is what the next evolution of retail would look like. So thank you all for having us and for your time. Appreciate you all.
Thank you. Thank you for listening.